Hello and welcome to my Booktubeathon wrap-up. So I've had so much fun during this week of Booktubeathon, and I'm very proud to say that I've finished all of my TBR books. So if you watched my TBR video, then you will know all of these books, or if you watched my vlogs, you will also know these books. But I thought I would go through them and just say a couple of sentences of what I thought of them. So first up, I read Manners and Mutiny by Gail Carriger, and I loved this book. It was such a great conclusion to the series, and I fell in love once again with Gail Carriger's writing. I loved her Parasol Protectorate series when I read it a while back, and now I just want to jump into her books again, and I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. After that, I picked up And I Darken by Kirsten White, and I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. It was slow at some parts and it didn't give me the emotional engagement that I would like from a 5-star book, but I still really loved the characters, and I love how we get to follow the two main characters from the moment they were born and up to they are about 15 and 16. I think it made you much more engaged and understood their stories. So instead of having to do some throwback scenes, you just knew the characters already and you knew what they had gone through in their childhood, and I thought it was a very clever way of writing the story. Next up, it was time for my graphic novels, and first I read volume 7 of Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, and I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I love the Saga series. Every volume that comes out always makes me feel so nervous because I'm afraid that my favorite characters are going to die, and I can't wait for the 8th volume. I'm going to be very sad when this series ends. Next up, I read Rat Queens, and this book is by Curtis J. Weeb and Rock Up Church. And this I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I liked the story and I liked the characters, but I felt like there was like a wall between me and them, so I didn't really get to know them. Granted, it's a very short story since it's a graphic novel and it's not very many pages. I will probably pick up the next volume and hope that I get to know these characters better. Then I also listened to All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, and I was so surprised. This book was probably my biggest surprise of the week because I thought it was just gonna be some contemporary that I would like feel like it was good but nothing special, but then I fell totally in love with it. I loved all of the characters and I loved the story. I thought it was very clever. Like, at first I thought it was going to be very messy with all of the guys getting letters, but then it just focused in on 2 of them, and I really liked that. I'm probably going to pick up the next book right after I finish the book I'm reading right now, because I just want to hear what will happen, and I'm so nervous because I love the guy that she chose at the end, and I really hope that they work out. And I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, and I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I was so involved in this book and I loved the characters and I loved the drama and I loved the story. I loved everything about it. I think that Adam Silvera is the kind of author that I always buy their books and I don't think I'm gonna like them, and then when I read the books I fall totally in love with them. Like, I loved More Happy Than Not that he wrote, and I will definitely buy his next book, They Both Die at the End, when it comes out, because I just had to realize that I like this author and I like his books even though they all are very, very sad. And lastly, I read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, and this was my biggest disappointment of the week. I went into this book thinking that I would love it, but instead I just felt a bit like meh on it. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and I don't know if I'm gonna continue with the series or if I'm gonna stop. I liked some parts, but other parts I didn't like. Like, I couldn't connect with the characters. I felt like if any one of them would die, I wouldn't care. And even though it was a magical setting, like I love magical settings, it didn't hook me. I didn't get addicted to it. I didn't feel anything for the story at all. But it was an okay story. I liked it. If I ever get my hands on the next book, I will probably read it, but I won't go out of my way to buy it. So that was it. That was my Booktubeathon wrap up. I've had so much fun this week, completing all of the challenges and just having a blast. And I will definitely continue vlogging for the next Booktubeathons. It was much more fun than I had ever thought. I probably won't see you in this kind of video again because I don't have the time to have a booktube channel when it's not like for an event like this. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you sometime. Bye.